Okay. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Prime TV. I'm your host, Kyle. It starts with a Q, but it is pronounced Kyle. And today I have an amazing guest with me. When I say amazing, y'all, all y'all know him, probably. Y'all should, if y'all don't. He has over 21,000 followers on Instagram, almost 1,000 followers or subscribers on YouTube, over 5,000 subscribers or followers on TikTok, and the numbers just keep climbing. He has viral videos that has over 8 million views. The one and only Corey Hauser, aka Chilloncorey. So round of applause. Welcome.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I appreciate
for
it.
Well, I appreciate you being here. When I say you've inspired me a lot, just because I know a little bit about your story. I don't know you personally, but just the stuff that you post on social media, you came a long way, and I've been following you since the I'm gonna call you back.
Oh wow,
Video.
that's like 10 years ago.
Yeah, so
I was just talking about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I saw that you posted that on your story, and I'm like, I remember this video because I remember that day. I was in my feelings. I don't remember if it was about a guy or whatever, but I do know that I was down, and I watched that video, and I just could not stop laughing. So I appreciate all that and the laughs and everything. So thank you very much for that.
I appreciate you remembering that. That was literally, I started making those like in 2014, 15. So I appreciate you even remembering that. That shows that's what it's all about, leaving that impact on people, make them remember.
Right. I like your glasses, by the way.
I appreciate you.
Very dope. So, first and foremost, you can go ahead and tell a little bit or introduce yourself a little bit. I think I did introduce you, but
yeah,
for those who don't know.
You did a great job. What can I say following that? I've been creating content. I'm Corey. I go by Co. I started making content literally 10 years ago. I was a freshman in college, and I was on Snapchat just making little skits. I had an iPhone 5S, I think. And I was just making skits on Snapchat. Everybody else is posting what they eating, what they doing, hanging out. I was just making the little skits. I didn't know that I could like do something with that. Mm-hmm. So as time went on, I got in a little bit of trouble, and I had to sit down for a while. Not in jail, but I had to literally sit down. Yeah. And I was real depressed for a while behind that, and I didn't know how to like channel my energy. To be transparent, because I like telling my story. I caught a case when I was 19 years old, and I got real depressed, and I was at home, and I just didn't know what was gonna happen with my life. And I remember picking my phone. I knew how to edit because I learned in high school. I just didn't do anything with it. So I actually edited a skit, and I put it out on my Instagram, and everybody loved it. It was the first time I had like 1,000 views on something. Like that meant a whole lot back then. We talking 2016 when I made my first edited skit, and everybody loved it. They telling me to keep doing it, and I'm talking about I'm going to the grocery store seeing people I went to high school with, like I see them skits you making, and I chose to take it serious. I never knew how far I could take it. I still don't know how far I could take it, but as of right now, I just wrapped up season 7 of my show that came out on Tubi about 5 days ago. So that's like, if I could just go back in time 10 years and tell myself even that I was gonna do that, I just wouldn't believe it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my story in short. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Am I supposed to dive into more?
I mean, if you want to, it's up to you.
I mean, I'm a super outgoing person. I love to travel. I'm adventurous. Mm-hmm. I know I don't belong in somebody's cubicle working. I've always known that since I had my first job, that I just hated it. I just liked getting my money every Friday from Kroger. That's the only thing I really like about working, is getting paid. But I know that my work is supposed to be with what I love doing. Mm-hmm. So I'm like going as hard as I can right now to make sure that's what I'm doing for a living. So 10 years from now, like whatever I'm doing, I want it to be like so crazy right now that no one believes it. But that's what I want to be doing 10 years from now. So I'm trying to put in the work right now while I'm in my 20s to make sure that's like my reality in my 30s.
I mean, you are putting in the work though. I know a lot of people is waiting for the code to come out on Tubi, which I'll get into that a little bit later. But I know I was one of those people when you first announced that it was going to be on Tubi. I kept looking. I'm like, I don't see it. What's going on? And then you finally announced that it was officially on there, and I think it was like the very first day I started watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's dope.
You know, you're making that impact now. So you going places for real.
I appreciate that.
So what exactly made you start taking it seriously? Just because you didn't want to work a 9 to 5, or what exactly happened?
I didn't want to work a 9 to 5, but I didn't know that videos or just content in general would be the way. I think what made me started taking it serious is, oh my goodness, famous people started like shouting me out and reposting my stuff, and I'm getting all this attention, and people started, the specific like things that like really started making me take it serious was people would reach out and say, hey, you should wear my clothing in your videos, or hey, how much to make a video promoting my this and that. And I'm sitting there like, bro, I can cuss on here.
I don't care.
You don't care? I'm like, nigga, I don't know, bro. I do this for free. I do this for fun.
Yeah.
Like, I got work tomorrow. This not my. They talking to me like this is what I do for a living, but I'm like, you could have just gave me the shirt, or I would have just promoted your product on my video, because I don't really know what I'm doing with this. But once people started throwing it at me, and my parents started really getting in my ear and telling me, you got something with this, which is around the time I was fighting my case. I had a lot of time to just focus on that. My parents, they started taking it serious. And I think parental validation as a kid kind of really was hounding down on me. And I was like, if I got them behind me, you know, that meant something to me. So I'm like, I'm going to take this serious. I don't know where I'm going to go with it, but I'm going to take it serious.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at now. Like, I be doing the podcast or whatever. And my mom, she's always like, she's been telling me since I was younger, like, you should really start interviewing people. You should really start interviewing people. Okay. Yeah, but she wanted me to interview, like, lawyers and stuff. And I'm like, I mean, that's cool. With that. I mean, it's cool, but it's like, I used to want to be a lawyer. It wasn't, like, my forte. I feel like I was going to do it more for her satisfaction and not something that I actually wanted to do. But later on, like, I do enjoy talking to people, but since I don't see myself working a 9 to 5, I guess that's why it didn't interest me to interview corporate people. So,
that's valid.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in the fact that people that are supposed to work 9 to 5s do.
Yeah.
And they seek it, and they're okay with that, because that's the role that they were placed on earth to play. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, everybody can't be an entertainer. Like, somebody has to come see the entertainers. Yeah. Everybody can't be a producer. Some people got to be consumers. That's just like the way the system is set up. And there's nothing wrong with either one. I'm a consumer in most settings in life, and a producer in very few. So it's, you know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I just have to say that.
Yeah. But 9 to 5 is just not for me. I say that. So how does it feel to be back in Detroit right now? I know you moved to Chicago, right?
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah. I moved to Chicago in September. I tell you what, it makes me appreciate home a lot more. It also reminds me that I'm where I'm supposed to be, which is away from here. No, all jokes aside, I love home. I was made here. Everything I know is here. I know the highway's here without using GPS. But it's I had to step away from it in order to even elevate. I lived in Indiana before I lived in Illinois. But a fun fact, I finished the code, all the footage. Like, I edited all of it once I left Michigan, because I was away from all the distractions and people and things to do that weren't necessarily productive. And I say that to say, to be back in Detroit feels really good, because all those distractions and people that I could be hanging with and things I'm doing that intentionally right now. Yeah. I came here to do that. So it feels real good right now. Yeah. I'm going back in the morning, but it feels good to be here though.
Yeah. So why did you move to Chicago? Like, what drew you there?
My lease was coming to an end at the condo I was living at, and I had some decisions to make. My brother plays professional football.
Okay.
And he asked me last winter, hey bro, around a year ago, he asked, hey bro, you wanna come out with me to Indiana? Like, we can make this roommate thing. Like, you know, just come with me. I know you want to get out of Michigan. I got this opportunity for you to leave Michigan. And I was like, yeah, I couldn't think of enough reasons to not do that. So originally he played for the Indianapolis Colts, and then he ended up signing to the Bears.
Okay.
So in mid-August, he called me and said, yeah, the Bears called, and I got to be there in the morning. So I lived by myself in Indiana for 2 weeks, and then I moved to Chicago. Oh. So I live with my brother, who's one of my best friends. So it's a cool experience, you know, on top of everything else.
Yeah. I think it's pretty cool that you actually moved out with somebody that you knew, though. I know a lot of people, they take that leap to just move out by themselves. And I mean, that's cool, but I'd be scared.
I'm scared. I'm scared as hell to do that.
Yeah. So
yeah, no lie.
That's cool though. Is your older brother? How far, or what's the age difference?
Nah, that's my younger brother. I got him about 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did mention about catching a case.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to specify exactly what happened with that, but that is one of my questions.
Is what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, you already know. I don't like to speak too publicly about, what specifically went down. Mm-hmm. But I did make a really bad choice. And I say choice and not mistake because I was an adult. I was 19. But I made a bad decision when I was 19. Okay. And I got locked up when I was 20. Mm-hmm. I got locked up when I was 20. I was on papers and everything. I'm all removed from all of that. In fact, my expungement's in 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah, on May in the beginning of May. But yeah, it is a process. It was almost 10 years. It was almost 10 years, and some of the closest people to me had to deal with that with me. Whether they were on the outside writing me and picking up the phone for me, or they were on the inside dealing with it with me.
Wait, so you was gone for 10 years? You said? Is that what you said?
Nah, I was. I was gone for a few months. I was supposed to be gone for a couple of years, but things worked out where I was able to come home early, and I didn't snitch. That's not what I mean. But things worked out where I was able to come home a lot earlier than I was supposed to.
Okay, well that's good.
And I did.
Yeah. So how was that experience in general for you? Like, is it how they depict it in the movies? Or anything?
Not at all. I have never seen a prison movie. And I wasn't locked up for a very long time at all, but I saw things. I have never seen a prison movie or a show that was like truly accurate, compared to what I went through. Okay. It's very mild, and a lot of the stuff that they portray in the media and when they storytelling and stuff like that are those wild occurrences. Mm-hmm. And if I had to make a comparison for you, we've all like been in a thunderstorm, right? Mm-hmm. But they tell you the stories about people getting shanked and raped and killed and hanging themselves in their cells, right? So we're going to bring it back to the thunderstorm comparison. Everybody has been in a thunderstorm, but how many people have been struck by lightning? A lot of that stuff is rare and does not happen every day and every time. When I was locked up, not a lot of stuff that they try to make seem like all prison is like, not a lot of that stuff happens. Mm-hmm. It's a facility with people that don't want to be there. Some are going home, some are not. Yeah. You learn how to live in there, and I did for a very short period again. And I ended up going to boot camp anyway. Mm-hmm. That was cool. That was really like the movie Major Payne. If anything was like the media, boot camp was truly like Major Payne, except we were all adults. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing. If anybody ever asked me what boot camp was like, I just say Major Payne.
Okay.
That's it.
That movie's funny though. I like it.
Boot camp was funny.
Yeah.
Boot camp was hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah. People be in your face though. You can handle that.
When you know that you're going home, you can handle anything if you got the proper discipline. Mm-hmm. There's nothing that as long as they didn't put their hands on me, there's nothing that they could have did in boot camp that would have compromised me coming home. Okay. Anything that happened to me that would have compromised me coming home was my actions. But in there, nah. They were this close in my face, yelling and stuff, trying to embarrass me and shit like that. But I'm like, dude, I'm going home in 73 days. Mm-hmm. I don't care. I'm supposed to be in prison. You cannot knock me off my square in there.
So transitioning back into, your home lifestyle, was that difficult at all for you? Or
what do you mean, like
after you left boot camp?
Like coming home?
Yeah.
No, I moved back home with my parents. Life was different. Life kicked my ass for a minute because the world like flipped upside down on me. Here I am, this kid from the suburbs that I was in school. My first 2 years of college were damn near free also. I had this golden opportunity and I feel like I just fumbled all of it. So when I came home, here I am with a criminal record, living back at home. I have to start life. I thought I was going to go to college and start my life, but the moment I come home, I got to start my life. But now I have a criminal record. I got to go find a job. And I want to move out, but now I have a criminal record. So I got to figure this out. Like I can't just go apply for an apartment. A lot of that attempted to kick my ass when I first came home. But, I lived through that. I worked through that. I'm a mindset person. So I always told myself I can and I will. And I do. And I have. Up until this point, because I'm still affected by that criminal record until May. So it's, home life was as traditional as I could make it.
Yeah.
But I knew the facts, underneath the smiles and everything like that. And I had to learn how to live like that with that label. But I maintained good relationships with the people, who I was living with, my mom, dad, my sister, and my friends around me and stuff. The support system was insane.
Yeah.
The support system was so good that I oftentimes forgot that I got into trouble. Because, I'm surrounded by good people that don't make me feel like I got into trouble.
Yeah.
That uplift me in the things that I do as long as they're positive. And most of the things I do are positive.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, I've known people that went to jail and they ended up going back, not saying that, I mean, that's your story because obviously it's not, but they just talk about how the transition was difficult because they do have that background, especially with like getting a job and things like that because you have to explain it. So, I don't know. But I applaud you for it.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you. I
welcome.
appreciate that.
So, how would you describe your content to someone that has never seen your videos before?
I make it all. Somebody else described it the best to me so that I didn't have to. Some years ago, they shouted me out on Instagram. And they said, your page is kind of like MTV. Like, I can go to your page, and there's a wide variety of stuff for me to watch.
Yeah.
I describe my content like, I'm one channel, and it depends on what you're in the mood for, because I'll probably have it on my page.
Yeah.
I got some serious content on there, and funny acting, the code, which is podcast style, some people would say. I try not to describe it. I try to tell them to just go check it out and see for yourself.
Yeah.
You will laugh on my page, though.
Yeah.
You will.
Definitely. All your videos make me laugh.
I
I
appreciate
don't think I've ever seen anything serious though. But I also don't go for serious content either.
It's a little bit of it. I got some short form videos, short films, if you will, where the premise wasn't. It might have had a little comedy to it, but the premise wasn't comedy though.
Yeah.
I try to practice with that because I'm actually a better actor when I'm serious than I am trying to be funny.
Yeah.
I can be funny like in my natural state, but when it comes to like I can act. So when it comes to actually acting, I like to get a little more serious.
Yeah, I've seen you act in Consequence.
See, yeah.
Yeah, how was that experience for you? Did you enjoy it?
That experience, yeah, that changed my life. Consequences. That changed my life. Because E. Michael, he's a regular person like me. You know, not to say he's not doing great things too, because we both doing great things. But I look at him like an equal, and I'm like, I remember reaching out to him. Not reaching out to him. I follow him on Instagram, and then I saw him like a few months later at a barbecue on Juneteenth 2020, and I said, "Hey, bro, I like your work. You know, if you got anything you want to collab on, just let me know, bro. Like, you know, we can connect. We exchange phone numbers. But you know, black people will be like, hey, bro, I'm gonna hit you up, exchange numbers, and you be like, who the fuck is this the next day when you looking at your phone? And I thought it was one of them type of situations. Juneteenth was like on a Friday. It was a Friday. Juneteenth was on a Friday in 2020. On Monday morning, he texted me and said, I need you. And I was like, oh, snap. All right. I'm going to send you this script. I just want you to look this script over. We're going to hop on Zoom in about a week, and we're going to discuss it. So I'm like, all right, man. It's the pandemic. I'm playing Xbox every day, bro. He sent me the script. I did not read it. But he sent he made a group chat, and he sent an invite. And I hopped on there. I ain't never did nothing like this. I was in acting class. I went to acting school, but I never was like truly in an environment with people trying to make it happen. And he hopped on Zoom and he started with me. He was like, Corey, what did you think of the script? And I said, oh, it was good. It was great. It was real good. I liked it. What did you like the best about it? And I was like, it was captivating, right? And I was embarrassed that whole Zoom call, but I stayed on. And he said, we got a table read this time next week. It's the pandemic. Life moving slow. So he was like, he gave us a week to read the script. And the next time we got on, everybody else was prepared. So I'm like, let me catch up and let me get serious. And I read the entire script and we did the table read. And we shot that movie. And it was just like, between the lights and the cameras and the audio equipment and stuff like that, I was never around it ever. So I was captivated by that. It was so cool to me that people on my level were working like this. And I make cell phone skits. It works for me, but I make cell phone skits. And it inspired me to do everything that I'm doing now, I swear to God. Being on that movie set and seeing all that, because now that's all the equipment that I casually work with every time I make a video. So it's like, that specific experience started all of this. Not all of it, but it started a lot of it, including things like the code. Because I just never knew that people on my level. And mind you, I ain't got no money. I still ain't got no money. But I really, really didn't have any. So I'm like, how are people making this happen? And he told me, bro, these are my people. They doing it for me. You know, I ain't got no money either, bro. But we got all these lights and cameras, and it was so cool to me. And so that was, as far as the industry I'm in, that was to this day the coolest experience I've ever had in my life. Like, I'm in a movie. Like, we made a movie. That's so cool to me.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool how you had the whole movie premiere and stuff like that.
And he asked me to host it. I was so nervous because I didn't think my mom was gonna come because she hates COVID, and it was a lot of people around in October 2021, October 3rd. She came, but the speech I had written had a lot of cussing in it, and I don't really cuss in front of my mom, but I was like, I'm not switching this speech up. So she was in the front row beaming at me behind that mask. But I'm like, Mom, I gotta power through. And I was cussing up a storm up there. I was being myself. But she ended up texting me and saying she was proud of me, and that meant the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie premiere was, again, one of the things that changed my life. I didn't know that we could do that. I thought you had to be like Steven Spielberg or Spike Lee or Tyler Perry. I thought you really had to be like the big dogs to do stuff like that. I didn't realize I was so, like, how accessible it was.
Yeah. That's probably one of the reasons why you do inspire me, because, I mean, not to say that you're not big, but you are.
I get it.
Like, you worked at the Graduate before. I mean, that I work downtown in Arbor, and it's like, it's right there. So to know that somebody like you is just doing the things that you're doing right now, working with the people that you're working with, is like, dang, like, I could do that too.
I appreciate that.
So, yeah, kudos to you. Do you plan on doing any more acting in the future? Like, would you like to be an actor, or are you just interested in, like, content creating?
Acting is my primary passion. I like acting more than I like anything I've done in the last year. I want to act. I'm so good at it. Dwayne is here. Dwayne has seen it up close in person. That's what I want to do. I just haven't actively sought out the opportunities. I can call up, my boys and put some stuff together, but I kind of just want to be the actor. I want to show up and act and go home.
Yeah.
I want to do that so bad. I'm kind of tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I could get back to that. I might take another acting course, though. It's been a couple years. I might take another acting course just to make sure, my tools are sharp. But, yeah, I definitely want to do that.
Yeah. Is there any type of movie that you would want, or movie or show, that you would like to act in? Like, any specific genre?
I really enjoy, I don't know what genre it falls under. You know that series, Bel Air? How they, redid the Fresh Prince. I really like that style. I don't know if that's technically drama or what that would fall under, or comedy, but I want to get into something like that. I think I'd fit. Every time I watch it, I picture myself in Will's shoes. Or the actor, his name's Jabari Smith or something like that. I picture myself in his shoes because I know I can do it. That's the type of acting I want to do. I would be great at it.
Yeah, I've actually never seen that show. It's on my list to watch.
It's a great show. Usually I don't like is it adaptations? Is that the word? When you remake a show or whatever. Yeah. I usually don't like those, but I really like that series. I gotta finish it. I'm so far behind, but yeah.
Have you ever seen a BMF? I think that's the name of the show.
Yeah, I was in BMF.
What?
Yeah, I was in season 2. I was background, but I was season 2, episode 1. First 5 minutes.
That's cool.
Yeah,
okay, I've never seen it, but I was told to watch it.
BMF is it's horrible acting. It's horrible acting. But I'm just not no hood nigga, so I can't. So I be like, they doing good enough because I can't play no hood nigga, but or a street nigga I should say. But I really like the story though. I really like what 50 Cent's doing with that. The whole Power. That's not the Power universe, but that whole thing 50's doing, I love it. I can see myself in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love BMF though. Enough.
I gotta watch the show now.
Yeah,
that's kind of funny. How did you even get into that type of opportunity?
E. Michael called me up and said he was in BMF season 1, I believe. He was the hot dog stand worker. So Terry and Nietzsche, I believe, grabbed a hot dog from him and walked off. Okay. And I saw it, and I almost cried. I was like, bro, this is what I feel it right now. I ain't about to cry, but I was like, bro, that is crazy. Like I was rewinding it over and over and over again. And I never told him I wanted to do it though. He called me one day and said, can you get downtown right now? I lived in Belleville at the time. Can you get? I'm like, all right. I ain't got no gas or money to get the gas, but I want to come. And he was like, yo, they got auditions for BMF. So I didn't end up going to that. I didn't end up making it. But he ended up getting plugged with another opportunity where we got in without having to wait in line. just background actors. It was so many people, and they transformed it and shit. And they put us in our wardrobes and all of that. Excuse me. And I was on set for hours. I was on set till like the middle of the night at the basement of the Motor City Casino. They had like made it look like the 90s, switched out the machines and the set and the clothes I had on. I looked like I was fresh out the 90s. And I mean, Meech was right there. Meech and a few other people from the show was all in the casino, and we in proximity like this. The same 30 seconds. Shoot it again, 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 shoot it again. But it was so fun.
Yeah.
It was so fun. I'll do it again.
Yeah.
I want a bigger role, but I'll do it again.
You had to just keep doing the same thing over and over? Or
I almost played Freeway Rick Ross. You know who that is?
who?
Freeway Rick Ross.
No.
He's a big time drug dealer from the 80s and the 90s. The producers was like, why the fuck didn't we cast a Rick Ross? That's what Rick Ross is named after, the rapper. Why the fuck didn't we cast? We need somebody that looks like Rick Ross. He just got to have a beard, light skin, about this tall. And Eric looked at me, and I looked at myself, and I said, Eric was like, go stand over there. So I stood over there, and they were looking around and shit, and the producer, I swear to God, the producer pointed right at me. And I can't remember what he asked me, but he pointed directly at me. No, he didn't say nothing to me. He said, he kind of looks like him. Can we get him in wardrobe? And my heart is like, because Rick Ross had an actual role, so it was quick. But he had an actual role where he spoke to Meech. And they ended up using somebody else.
Damn.
At the very last minute, they walked up with some other dude who looked nothing like me. And they used him. I was so close, which makes me want to get back. Because I feel like that was like almost my opportunity to get more screen time. Because I don't put it on my resume. But if I had that role, I might.
Yeah, I mean, everything happens for a reason.
That's facts.
So, I mean, if it was your time, then it would have happened. So, your time is coming.
That's facts.
So, that's cool. I know one of the things that you did do as well when you got out was IML or Forex. How was your experience with that?
I can only speak for myself. But I made an incredible amount of money. Enough to not have a job, which I told you I don't like. I was making some thousands from recruiting people because I know people.
Yeah.
Okay. I know a lot of people, and my sister know a lot of people. She recruited me. She was like, hey, nigga, I got something for us. And I learned how to trade a little bit. I did learn how to trade a little bit, but I'd never get back into something like that.
Yeah.
I was trying to teach people trading when I barely knew my damn self. That's like me trying to teach somebody how to drive. Everybody know not to learn nothing driving from me, but I know enough to get from point A to point B, and it was the same with trading. And, you know, I kind of was on the internet. I'm not going to say I was selling a dream because everything that I did, everything that I said you could do, I was doing. You know, it was possible if you was to put in the same work as me. But I was like on the internet just flexing all this stuff, traveling, doing this, doing that. And everybody was hitting my link and signing up.
Yeah.
I grew up in Belleville. I had 30, 40, 50 people from Belleville. I had my best friends, you know, like, hey, here go my 225. And we would meet up, and I was just making all this money, but it just, my conscience, even like thinking back on it, now it's 5 years ago, thinking back on it, like, I'm telling all these people they can make all this money, but that's if they got the followers I got, the outspoken personality I got, like the willingness to do everything I'm doing, or the freedom. I didn't have a job.
Yeah.
That was my job. These people meeting me after work, I'm like, no, nigga, you got to work on this 12 hours a day, and you can make what I'm making. And I'm showing them my, you know, my checks for thousands of dollars and my trading money that I was just gambling with. You know what I'm saying? So it was a cool experience, and I networked my ass off. I met so many people I still work with to this day, including Keys, Red 313. He was a chairman. He was the biggest dude in Detroit doing that. Just I got a lot of connections from that, but and I don't regret the experience, but I'd never do it again.
Yeah. I actually met him. I met his girlfriend at the time. I'm not sure if they together.
You talking loud.
You said I'm talking loud?
I'm just.
Oh. But yeah, he was cool people's, but he was constantly like, not constantly, but he did ask me like, why you not talking to people about it? And I'm like, I mean, I'm not really in it to recruit. Recruiting is cool, but I want to actually learn how to trade. I don't want to just tell people, oh yeah, you can learn how to trade and make money and then not know how to do it. Because a lot of people that was on my team or that was my leaders was just focusing on recruiting. And then people would get in, they'd be like, I'm not making no money. I don't know how to to trade, and I'd just be sitting there like, hop on the Zoom call. I don't know
Which
what to
is
tell you.
a bunch of bullshit
Yeah.
in retrospect. We were kids. I was 23 at the time, man.
Yeah.
22, 23. I was 22 at the time. I was a kid. I made the money, though. I had my fun. It's over now, though.
I still want to learn how to trade though. I know a little bit, but
Same.
I
Same.
don't have the time to invest in learning how to trade.
I made a few $1,000s doing it, but at the end of the day, I made a few $1,000s doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because I was making so much money on the recruiting side that I didn't mind putting $1,000. I'm not $1,000. I didn't mind putting $100 at a time towards a trade, which in the modern day feels kind of like getting on FanDuel and like I swear to God, I remember loading my account. I'll call my best friend. Hey Wayne, I just loaded my account. What we about to do? There's some parallels. Mm-hmm. A lot of it is gambling if you don't know what you're doing, and I did not know what I was doing. I was just willing to gamble more money than most people because I was making more money than most people doing what we was doing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that
I was
was
not
that.
gambling at all. I was very cautious. But I was also an emotional trader sometimes. So like I would see the blue and I would be making money and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna just give it like a couple more seconds, then I'm gonna hop out. And then all of a sudden it just dropped. I'm like, what the freak is going on?
I know.
So
I know that feeling.
Yeah. It was a cool little thing at the time, but yeah.
Some of the most interesting 7 months of my life.
So what is one thing that you wish you would have known prior to making content that could have helped you or would have changed? You think you would have changed the path that you're going down?
What do I wish I would have known right now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What do I wish that I would have known back then that I know? Had I started earlier, I would have been at this point earlier. If I started when I was truly like curious about it, which was really like high school, going into college. I think, had I been doing that, I might have stayed out of trouble and probably have a degree and be where I'm at right now. But it didn't work out that way.
Yeah.
I hate that question because like you just said a few minutes ago, everything happens for a reason. Mm-hmm. So I could say I wish I knew this. I'd be a billionaire by now, but it don't resonate too hard with me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know it. I know it now. So what am I gonna do now? You feel me? What am I gonna do from this point? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is there any advice that you would give to somebody that wants to be a full-time content creator?
You got 40 hours that you work at your job. Mm-hmm. Get ready to put in 80 a week. Yeah. Being a full-time content creator. A full-time content creator is just that. A full-time content creator, your mind is constantly content. Your mind is always on content, ways to make content, stories to tell with whatever you're doing for content. Mm-hmm. You gotta stay dedicated. You gotta stay dedicated to it. Like your 40 hours at work, get ready to sacrifice that 40 for 80. Yeah. It looks fun, and it can be, but it's a lot of work behind it. Yes. But it is worth it if it's really what you want.
Yeah, that is something that I'm learning now. I worked a month straight at work because we were short people, so I was just picking up a whole bunch of overtime.
You said you deal with short people?
No.
You said you are short people. I'm
we
sorry. Okay.
People.
I heard that wrong.
My job was short people.
All right.
I mean, we are pretty short.
Yeah, I didn't know where this was going.
Everybody in there is pretty short.
All right.
But we were short people, and so I was constantly picking up overtime. So I was working literally every single day. I had no days off. And then on top of that, I was also doing the interviews. On top of that, I was editing the interviews. And then on top of that, I was still trying to book interviews and everything. So it was just a constant go. I was maybe getting 2-3 hours of sleep.
That's gonna pay off.
Yeah.
That was me. Before I was even doing a full-time content creator thing, which it hasn't even been a year. But when I was really, really getting started with what I was doing, I remember it would be the middle of the night and I'm up on my iPhone just editing this skit. Yeah, I got work in the morning, but I want to edit this skit so that on my break I can drop it, You know what I'm saying? Because it's already edited because I did it the night before. Losing hella sleep, staying up on the computer. Like, my eyes hurt from looking at the big-ass computer screens and shit like that. I did all of that. I did all of that, and it's starting to pay off, and it's going to pay off if you stick with that. Because it was me. It was me. I would wake up. Hell, last year when I was editing, I was doing some editing. I moved my computer in my room. And my old room was not big enough for a computer, but I put it right by my bedside because then I did this several nights. I woke up in the middle of the night thinking about content, and I was too lazy to go downstairs. So I just got out of bed, or I leaned against my bed and I started editing. Like, the dedication I was putting towards that shit. To add on to the question you had asked about the advice. That shit is gonna pay off, but you gotta prove that you really, really want that. You gotta prove it to yourself. You gotta prove it to God if you're a praying person. Like, you really gotta put it out in the universe. Like, I'm dedicated to this.
Yeah.
I really want the time to do this. So if I don't have to work a job and I can just focus on this shit, like, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And God granted me that. God granted me the time to be able to do that all day, every day. And do I always do the best time? Do I always, like, use my time the best? No, but I use it. And I make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Because I got the time to do it now.
Yeah.
So stick with that. Stick with that. Yeah, you getting 3 hours of sleep now, but the lifestyle I'm living, I might be able to get 30. I'm gonna just have to stay up for 90 after that. But it's possible.
Yeah. Tubi has the code on there. You just dropped it not too long ago, like 5 days ago, you said. How did you even get in touch with Tubi? How did that whole collaboration work?
I got reached out to by Dennis Reed.
Okay.
I worked on a project with him. I did a documentary a couple years ago, and it was me and Lando, one of my best friends and my cameraman. We did the project. I was interviewing people for the documentary, and he happened to be one of them. So I've always been a fan of his growing up, and my mom was too. My mom always told me, you should work with Dennis Reed since you want to do that acting stuff. So I met him, and I was starstruck when I met him, I admit. I was like, whoa, like you one of those big guys I was talking about that I thought you had to be to use the big lights and cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
So I had to get his number and stuff like that because of the project I was working on. I needed to get his info. So one day he reached out to me and said, can you meet me at my office? And I want to talk about something. I'm like, whoa. I didn't even tell nobody. I told no one. I got up and I drove to his office, and he told me 2 things. I want you to create something dope for me, like a show. And I'm sitting there with the blank look on my face. You talking to me? And I was like, this is after I had created the code. And he was like, yeah, I want you to create something dope for my production company. And I couldn't believe the words coming out of his mouth. I'm like, I wish my mama was here to hear what you're saying. And we talked about that for a while. I won't dive too deep into that. But then he said, what would it take to put the code on Tubi? And in my head, I'm like, nigga, you tell me. Like, what does it take to put the code on Tubi? And we ended up working out a deal like that. He just told me, like, he broke down. We follow each other on Instagram. We had followed each other on Instagram all these years. He told me, he was listing stuff off from my page. Old videos that I made that he liked, my style of content, things that I do from years back. The interesting thing about that was that, okay, Dennis keeps up with all of my stuff. He never liked anything. So I had no idea. He never liked anything. He was never in my story views until we started building a relationship. I never knew that he was watching me, but he was all that time, and then he offered me the show. I've never been in contact with Tubi before. I went through his production company. He signed my show on for 1 season, and that's how that happened.
Okay. Where did the whole idea for the code come from?
Being broke. So I started making these videos in Chicago. I'm gonna try to make this quick. I started making these videos in Chicago on a Navy pier, and it's ironic that it was in Chicago, where I was interviewing people, you know, outside. What's the craziest thing you ever did? Blah blah blah. And then, you know, people love those. It's called questions that need answers. We kept doing them, me and Linda. We kept doing them. In fact, Dwayne did something for me. Like, we just kept doing them. But then it got cold outside, and I'm like, should we go to the mall? Nah. Should we go here? Nah. And I was like, hey, Linda, what if we like interview like influencers and content creators at the house? But we call it questions that need answers. But it's just in the house now. So we did that like 3-4 times, but the engagement wasn't like crazy. It was like, might get 1,000, might get 2,000 views, which is a lot in retrospect, but not for all the work we was putting in to do it. So I had a job at the time, and my job wasn't paying me very well at all. I was like in the dumps. I was broke. So I quit my job with no plan B. I quit my job. And Lando pulls up to my house. I'm like, hey, bro, can you pull up? I just needed somebody to talk to. I was like, I just quit. I was sick of that shit. And they was taking up all my time. And I was like, we got to take this content shit I wish Lando was here too. Like, we got to take this content to the next level. We got to do something. Everybody's like banking on us to win. Like, let's win.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in the passenger seat in his car. He's still stuck on the fact that I quit my job. Nigga says, did you really quit your job? I was like, yes, bro. We gotta make this work while I got the free time to make it work. I got this idea. You remember questions that need answers? What if we just got a bunch of people together and interviewed all of them and made like videos out of it? He was like, I mean, it sounds cool. And we ended up doing it. It was February the 20th. February the 23rd when we were sitting in my driveway in his car. On March the 7th, I got 24 guys together, and we shot my first season. I was scared. I was nervous. I did not think it was going to work. I was hitting up all these people in the text messages. Hey, look, I got this idea. Hey, go watch Guy Code on MTV. Like, something like that. Just go watch. I have this idea. Can you be at my house at this time? It was just text messages, and I'm sending this paragraph to probably 30, 40 people because I know everybody can't make it. So I was like, maybe if I send it to that many people, this many people will come. Everything went according to plan. Everything, to the point where like I felt a little arrogant behind it. Like, I really made that happen. And so we just kept doing it and doing it and doing it because y'all loved it, I loved it, everybody loved it. That's how that came about. I was sick of my job and wanted to make I wanted content to pay off.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe the code will put somebody in my pocket. I don't know. Like, let's just try this shit out and see. That's how that came about though. Just interviewing people in Chicago. Yeah. Talking to people.
How do you choose your people for the code?
It started out with just my homeboys.
Yeah.
People I knew that were funny. It didn't really matter how many followers they had or, where they come from, just like that. But then I started looking at the following people had, like people's following. I looked at what they were doing on their own. Are you personable, or am I able to like interview you? Can I get good stuff out of you? Because some people are made for the internet. Some people can truly be funny in person. Yeah. And over the seasons, I've slowly learned how to vet people. Like, I'll reach out to somebody, but until I talk on the phone with you, I used to do like FaceTime. Like, I'd sit and FaceTime you and just kind of kick it with you if I didn't know you. And I would just grab up people like that. People recommend people all the time. I usually ignore it. I'm building a brand. If the person you send me pisses me off, I'm never taking any suggestions from you again. It happens. It happens. But
that's funny.
People that intrigue me on the internet, people that's hot, people that's funny, people that's gonna give me good content, because we scratching each other back. Yeah. You got a platform and you giving me content. Yeah. I'm sorry. They got a platform and I'm getting content.
I figured. I wasn't gonna correct you. Not a lot of the people, but some of the people that you have on the code, I actually know. They are really funny people. So I enjoy watching them because they just funny. They're funny people. I can be funny, I guess. I told I'm funny when I'm telling stories. I know I just be saying whatever comes to my mind for real. But it just, yeah, I enjoy watching the code. I appreciate the code being on Tubi, just because, it's showing your progress. And I appreciate that a lot.
I appreciate it.
Do you have any things that's coming up that you want to let the people know about? We about to go ahead and close this out because I know you're probably tired.
I'm chilling. I just shot season 7 of The Code, the same exact day that season 6 came out. So I got that on the way. That's going to carry me into late spring. I don't have anything specific that I'm working on. Lando and I are drafting the next big thing, though. The Code obviously is doing what it's doing. But we have this other idea that we're working on that we're going to need people again for. Yeah. Same way we needed people for The Code. We're working on that. And we plan on beginning that in June.
Okay.
My name is Marcus.
I'm Cheyenne, Corey's girlfriend.
I'm Dwayne Wayne. I'm actually Corey's best friend / executive director for his show the code on Tubi.
If I could describe Corey in 3 words, the first one probably be charismatic.
He's adventurous. He's funny.
Funny, of course.
I want to give a story on how this motherfucker's hostile.
He's supportive. And he's smart.
I'm gonna say dedicated.
We're on vacation for his birthday in New Orleans. We're on a group trip. I knew this motherfucker was hostile when me and my homeboy, we pointed out a golf cart. And this motherfucker comes over to me like, hey, Finch, Wayne, give me a card out your wallet. I said, for what, bro? He like, just give me a card out your wallet. I give him my medical marijuana card. And he inserts the card in the ignition to try to start the golf cart. Believe it or not, the fucking golf cart starts. When I tell you, he gives me the card back. The card is damn near damaged. I can't even use it. But this is how I knew he was hostile. He kicked me off, let Bree and Squid and E-Michael get on, and he takes off without me all the way to the fucking room. And that's one of my hostile moments because we could have went to fucking jail.
Because I moved from North Carolina to Michigan. And going to the bus stop, it's a cool day. I have on my North Carolina attire. And I was raised different. So I'm over here wearing some South Pole, button up, some Echo limited jeans, and some Nikes. I don't know what it was. First day I came up to the bus stop, some light-skinned dude just gave me the look like, who is this guy? And I'm listening to Lil Wayne dedication. I forgot what it was, back in like 2013, something like that. And he clowned the mess out of me on the bus, and it was traumatizing. It was truly traumatizing how he just clowned me from literally when I sat down. No, I didn't make it to the bus like the first step. He clowned me like, you think you get on the bus with them G's on? I was like, oh my gosh, why did I wear this fit to school today? But ever since that first day, we became good friends, and we've been joking around, but it's always been love. And I just knew from the first day I met him, he was just that open, energetic, funny dude that, we go into a class, he gonna be talking. He gonna be clowning somebody, messing around, doing something.
All right, well, you can go ahead and let the people know where they can follow you, how they can hit you up, where they can get your content and all that.
You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Chilloncorey. It's all one word, no underscores. If you want to search my show up on Tubi, not if you want to, you have to, because you're watching this. If you made it to this point, you have to go watch the show. Go to Tubi, type in Corey Hauser, or type in the code, and it'll come up. It's a picture of me with a red background. I appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate everybody that has been watching, whether that's on Tubi, my Instagram, my TikTok. If you read my tweets, whatever. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, for the interview and the platform.
That's pretty much all I have for y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Once again, I do want to appreciate you or give you thanks for coming on and letting me interview you. All of that, his Instagram handles and all that information will be in the description box below. And I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.